Something's wrong. They're communicating. Hey, hey everyone. Welcome to the Broccoli Horror Picture Show. Hey, did that give anything away? Because I'm sure it didn't. Which
Did.
speaks to the movie we're speaking about and the category we're bringing it up here. But let's start with I'm Kristen.
I'm Emma.
I'm Nick.
And like I said, Broccoli Horror Picture Show. This week's episode is a movie one of us hates, but other people seem to, or the world seems to like.
Oh,
And this pick is mine. It is Jurassic World from 2015. I feel like the vast majority of people who know me, well, probably almost everybody who knows me knows that Jurassic Park is my favorite book and my favorite film. So it seems like, hey, Kristen, why would you hate Jurassic World? It was the long-awaited sequel to Jurassic Park, which to that I say, have you seen the mess that is The Lost World? Have you seen the mess that is Jurassic Park 3? But maybe those were just our generation. This is a film that introduces the Jurassic Park and all of its, I guess, like, I don't know, allure to the new generation. And while I get that, I think this movie is hot garbage. And I want to know, Nick and Emma, what if you had any thoughts going into this when you first saw it, if you remember that, or now having having known that I hate it and feel very strongly about it.
Go ahead, Emma.
What year did this come out again?
2015.
2015. So that was my freshman year of college, end of high school. I can't remember like what context I saw it. I definitely saw it in theaters. I was definitely super excited to see it in theaters. I think I liked it at the time. I don't think I was critically thinking, well, in general at 18, but also just watching this movie. I don't think that I was thinking too much about it. I just remember the water scene where the thing jumps up out of the water. Remember that. Over the years, I've grown to like it less.
Yeah.
Have seen sequels. Are there two sequels after or one?
There's two. The two of us saw the second one together.
The second of the sequels.
We saw the third Jurassic World movie.
The
together.
third Jurassic World we saw in theaters. Kristen and I saw it in 4D. I think we've even talked about this, that it started our love of 4D movies.
Yeah.
And we got Jurassic World themed margaritas. And it was terrible.
It was so bad.
And I don't know if that harrowing experience has made me like retroactively like the first one less. Who's to say? I feel like I'm 50-50. I think I'm right in the middle. I'm going to be in the middle this week because Kristen, I don't think I hate it as much as you. And Nick already said he decided to like it. So I think that I'm going to be in between.
Great. So we're having the conclave gamut again.
The spectrum again.
The spectrum.
Flipped.
Nick?
Yeah, I think I wasn't. I saw the first Jurassic Park. I never even saw the two sequels to Jurassic Park.
That's fair.
As you can tell by my taste in movies now, I grew up just like terrified of anything even remotely scary in a movie. So I didn't necessarily love it, but I was so soft as a kid. I couldn't even watch Harry Potter when I was little. But yeah, I mean, I saw Jurassic Park. Haven't seen it in a long time, so like this movie doesn't hold as much of like a like air of expectation to me as I think it does. So it's not as much of like a letdown when the vibes don't match. So it doesn't hurt me as bad as it hurts Kristen, I don't think, but or it doesn't hurt me at all, and it severely pains Kristen.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think, I can go into this movie being like, it's just kind of gonna be a little bit of just like catering slop and be okay with that. And I don't think Kristen is anywhere near that mindset going into this movie. So I think that's gonna be the disconnect for a lot of this movie.
Mm. Okay, okay. Very nice. I'll preface this with I was so excited about this when it was announced. I followed the production. I in fact this was the first movie I saw in theaters by myself because it was the day I graduated high school and everybody else was getting their hair and nails done and I was in the theater alone watching Jurassic World. So and I remember truly initially kind of being like, okay, like it was all right. And now I think I've had a more extreme hatred just as more movies have come out, as more um I guess as I've matured, I've found just how kind of insufferable the writing of this is. And rewatching it again, I like Nick said, I kind of wanted to blast through my TV. I was so angry.
I
And
have I have
go
a
ahead.
question for both of you. You both described like at the time liking it better than you do now? Has it? Do you think it has anything to do with your feelings for Chris Pratt
I
moving in a similar direction as your feelings with this movie do over time?
I was just gonna ask Kristen what her feelings were about Chris Pratt when it came out, because Chris Pratt was really beloved when it came out
Mhm.
by a lot of people. I loved him. I was very excited for him to be in this movie. So, Nick, that is a good question.
I don't know
Thank
if
you.
he really had an effect on me, like, when this was coming out per se, because I think I also was very attached to the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was more my, like, Chris Pratt, uh, adoration, like, that was my era, was Guardians and Guardians 2, so this just kind of felt like, "Oh, a fun little bonus,"
Because they came
and
out the same year, right? The first
I th
Guardians and
I
this?
think the first Guardians may have been the year before.
Yeah,
Okay.
2014. It was a summer release. August
Mhm.
2014 was Guardians, and
This was
Jurassic
June
World was June.
2015.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a huge year for him, like, back to back.
Mhm.
And this, I think I read somewhere when I was, like, going to watch this time around that this is still one of the top grossing films of all time. Like, and I think that speaks to the allure of 1, Jurassic Park, and 2, dinosaurs, because, hey, there's a lot of dinosaur kids out there. Maybe they'd like something like a dinosaur movie or, like, a dinosaur book, I don't know. Um,
Or
did
like an
I
actual dinosaur.
also, side note, I did just buy this, limited edition leather-bound first 2 books of the original Jurassic Park, and
Glorious.
it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I got it from a used bookstore, and it's brand
Wow.
new.
Ooh.
They didn't even price it yet, and I said, "Give me that." Anyway, now on to the garbage. Does anyone have any more thoughts before we head into plot?
No, I think we'll hit them as we
Mm,
go. Nothing from me.
yeah, I think my rant can come at the end or in the middle.
Okay.
Whenever
Or
it
when
comes
we
to
hit
me.
it. Yeah.
Whenever the spirit compels us.
Okay. I love it. Um, so we open with the hatchling scene, which is 2 Indominus Rex hatchlings in a lab, which we don't exactly know what the Indominus is yet, but we soon learn that it is a genetic mutation of a bunch of dinosaurs, different animals. Like, it's just got a shit ton of DNA in it for no reason other than, hey, this is cool and this will attract people. And I think that's a good way to start it. I think it was important to show that the Indominus Rex had a counterpart because we learn that the counterpart has kind of gone away in a little bit. But after that, we get introduced to the Mitchell family and 2 parents and their kids, Gray and Zach, and they're getting them to go to the airport. And we kind of see like tension between mom and dad. And I think, I don't know if they flat out say it, but I feel like it's a divorce is imminent. We're sending you to be with your aunt while we figure things out
They
type
have
of
the
trip.
divorce conversation between the boys
Okay. That's
later about that the one boy like saw divorce papers, but I think that's where it gets alluded to.
Yeah, he's crying. The young boy and the teenage boy's like, whatever, dude.
And like, whatever, I don't even care.
I'm going to college.
Okay, parents and kids say goodbye. They take a ferry to Costa Rica, islands off the coast of Costa Rica, which is Isla Nublar, which is the like main island. And we kind of, I don't know, we just get more brother banter talk. We see the island and like, wow, this is totally isn't CG of an island. Anyway, they arrive, they meet Zara, who is Claire's assistant, and she's sent to kind of like babysit them and then take them around. And they're initially just like, hey, we kind of thought we were going to see our aunt. And we learn how busy Claire is and that she's got a very important job. And
I feel like they lay
go ahead.
I feel like they lay the teenage boy thing on a little thick through this first part, but
Yes.
they don't always miss with how they're displaying it, but they just go to it so often. Where like it's like when there are certain times where he does stuff on his phone that I'm like, I can see like they're actually displaying this okay, but it's like you're showing so much of it. You can just the point was made so early on that he's just like kind of a dick in his teenage years, but they just really lean into it.
It becomes such a drag every time he's on screen because you're like, oh, he's just gonna say something mean to his brother.
Yeah.
And I think like to me, the entire film almost seems more family friendly to me in certain ways, which I know it shouldn't, but I think
Than the original, like
than the original, yeah. And I think this kind of leans towards that because younger audiences are seeing it, but I don't know. Zara takes the boys to the resort via the monorail, and this is kind of like the big sweeping, oh my god, look what it's become. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. It's modern. It's Jurassic World, not park, because it's so big now. And they take the boys through the Innovation Center, which is, I guess, like the old visitor center, but it's updated. There's holograms now. So, I mean, in 2015, you're thinking like, holy shit, a hologram. This is top tier. We're not going to get anywhere past this. And Claire has all the points I have here is Claire has a meeting with business people in the lab.
Yeah. It's like
this is where we meet Claire.
This is them like they show you at the beginning that they're making this dinosaur. And they're like, in case you weren't really paying attention at the beginning, we're just going to flat out say it so you know what's happening. Because just showing it, I don't think is enough for like the mass appeal of this movie. We're going to go back and like really hammer home. Whoa, hello, Emma.
Sorry.
Let there be light.
Yeah, it feels like they really just like, again, she is like, the way the teenage boy is such a teenage boy, she is so like buttoned up and professional without like any layer to her. And then the conversation she has is so like, here's what we're doing. You can see what the plot of the movie is going to be from here.
Yeah, Nick, I think you're being very nice about it in the way you're describing this. This movie thinks you are so dumb. This movie thinks you have the intelligence of a Neanderthal. It's like, oh, teenage boy angsty, younger brother annoying, babysitter no want,
businesswoman fuck ass Bob.
Yeah, like
the hair that could be a rant on its own.
The hair is wild.
Makes me want to just rip out my eyeballs, fog them up, like make them clean again on my shirt, put them back in. And what the?
It's ugly. It's just ugly.
It's so ugly.
And it's distracting every minute. There's like not 1 minute that she's on screen that I'm not thinking about her fucking bob.
I feel the same way. I literally the whole time was like, no one looks like that.
No.
No one looks like that.
No. Especially not Bryce Dallas-Howard.
Honestly, guys, she's my rant. She's my rant. I don't know when we can do this, but we can just yell about her later because
okay, so far our rant might be the same, but
okay,
it's
great.
The plot point for the rant that starts the rant isn't until later.
Okay.
If we're thinking the same thing.
I literally was thinking to myself at this point, like, how long until they just let her be hot?
Never. The answer is never.
Yeah. And I mean, you have a beautiful woman. You're gonna do that to her? What do you mean?
It's not even like you have to acknowledge that she's gorgeous. It's that you're going so far out of your way to make it seem like she's not at this point, which is just why it's not how life works.
She looks AI in like the worst way.
Her hands are all fucked up.
She looks like she was lab grown, you know?
She does.
Yes, no, that's the third sequel, Kristen. Don't forget.
Oh, Emma?
Don't.
I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown. I can't do that. I can't talk. What the hell's the second one called? Dominion? Or no, is that the third one?
I have absolutely no idea. Gun to my head, couldn't tell you.
Honestly, I'm all right. Anyway.
Wait 1 second. I'm close.
Is there another one coming out?
There is. And it is the first Jurassic Park / World movie to be rated R.
Which one?
The new one that's going to come out, Rebirth.
Do you think there's a chance it's good if it's rated R?
There's a new trailer that came out today, actually, that I think looks kind of good. And I think they are going to play up horror in this. And I swear to God, if they tee me up again and fail me, I don't know what I'll do. Maybe die a little inside. Okay, so Claire visits the control room and we kind of meet, I guess, comic relief side characters, Jake Johnson and whoever the female is. I'm so sorry. Like the female comic relief. I don't know her name. I think, was she in Orange is the New Black? Is that where I knew her from? Maybe. And they're just there to be there. They're just there to take up space and ask questions that the audience would ask throughout whenever they're in the control room.
They don't let Jake Johnson cook at all in this movie.
No, you forget he's in this movie.
Didn't let him do anything.
He tried. You could tell he was trying.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could tell he was. And it was like he really could have been any actor. I'm happy he was in it, and they just underused him in a crazy way.
It's so
Jimmy
bad.
Fallon was as memorable in this movie as Jake Johnson.
Oh my God.
I forget he's in it every time, and every time it goes to the control room. I am surprised.
I also think it's really funny that they used like his mustache as kind of like an out of touch thing, and then immediately became like soon after it became so in and popular. I was like, this look is not accomplishing what you wanted it to at all.
No.
Yeah, like he doesn't look dorky now. He just looks hip.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like he lives in Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly.
And her hating, her hating the shirt also. They just make her character terrible. There's nothing likable. There's nothing likable about her.
And I think there's some merit to that like we're not supposed to like her. She's the absent aunt who's never there for her family. But there's a more nuanced way you can do that. You don't have to hammer it over our heads so much. Within the first, I think we're still in the first half hour of this movie.
Would we like her more if her hair was better?
100%.
Would we be getting this frustrated about the character if her hair was better?
It'd still be bad, but it would be way less bad.
Way less.
It would soften the blow a little bit.
I'm not ready to go as far as better, but it would
yeah. Yeah. From here, we meet Simon Mizrahi, and he takes Claire to the Indominus Rex paddock with
Isaac
the
Mizrahi.
Isaac Mizrahi. He takes her in a helicopter over the paddock. This guy, I believe his title is like he's like the new CEO or the new owner. I'm getting my details mixed up, but I don't have to think about him for that long if I'm being honest.
He's running the show.
He's running the show. You think, wow, this guy just
The most complex character in
yeah.
this movie, because up front he like has an air of confidence and he's like, that's not the vision for the park, and he's like charismatic and fun, and then they actually give him an arc where he changes, and it feels
Mhm.
like he is the only character that has anything like that in this whole movie.
Yeah, everyone else is really painfully one note.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no arc. It's a straight line for everybody else.
Yeah. And I think it makes his future in this film all the more tragic,
Yeah.
I would have wanted to see and hear like more of what he had to say. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself.
I feel like this is like you said, this was a box office hit. I feel like this is one of those movies that pretty much everyone's seen. Like, you're not gonna.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, I think it grossed over $1 billion in the box office.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, especially for 2015.
It was a big deal when it came back.
It was a big deal. But I will say, I know people were mad about the original 3 not being involved. Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm. Like, they did bring them back for later films, which we don't have to talk about. But I know that was like for people who really loved the originals. But so from Mizrahi and Claire going over the paddock, we then kind of go to, I guess it's the overlook that is eventually going to be for the Indominus Rex, and Simon and Claire talk about what it is in the paddock. And we kind of can't really see it, but it's like they're edging us a little bit with the Indominus. We don't know what it truly looks like yet. And before any hell can really break loose, we meet Owen Grady, which is Chris Pratt's character. And this is like, I feel like this is the scene where all of the media pictures come from, is him training the raptors. And like that picture of him putting his arms out with all 4 of them surrounding him, that was plastered everywhere when marketing this movie.
Yeah.
Even still, like, that'll be the thing that Entertainment Magazine will like go back to, like Jurassic World 2015. They'll put that little stamp in the corner. So we're seeing that we're trying to work with raptors now. Seems a little
funny how you said that.
It's it's funny because what the fuck are we doing?
It's so funny here because they start to do a moment of like actually making you feel like the excitement of like this creature is too big and too smart, and like it's gonna be a problem. And they could have just not showed it at all, but they show it a little bit, and it's like the excitement is like not getting to see it, and then like a big reveal, and you just show like a little bit of it, and then you just are like, oh yeah, but its number one adversary is gonna be this guy. It's just Chris Pratt.
I thought you were talking about the Raptors. Blue.
He's literally introduced as Delta.
Oh my god.
You're
right.
Dwyer.
And there were boys in my neighborhood growing up. They were like little on my friend's street that there were sibling boys named Owen and Grady. Their parents
Oh.
must have felt crazy when this movie came out
Oh my god.
15 years after their kids were born.
That's a little creepy. Maybe they
I mean,
knew.
yeah, I just can't. And it has to be a coincidence. What would they have to do with this movie that they decided to name the first character after their children?
No,
They wouldn't
Owen's
have.
name was taken from a random character generator, actually,
Oh.
as were most of his other traits.
Mhm,
Because
mhm.
I think he was a Navy veteran, which what? Like,
Of course he was. I mean, Kristen, what other past profession would he have?
I don't know, Army feels like more of the thing he should have been doing.
Yeah, but then how would he say, I was with the Navy, not the Navajo?
Exactly. Right there.
I mean, I think they literally did that just for that joke. Literally just that joke. Because you cannot tell me any of the skills he uses are strictly like naval learned.
I don't think they thought about it at all. I think they picked a military word and they said, great.
they did. I was like, you could have said he was a zookeeper and I would have believed you more.
Zookeeper would have made more sense
Yeah.
for what he was doing. With
That's what
these
he's doing.
raptors.
He was a Tuskegee Airman.
I pissed me. God. Okay.
I like that. I just know how much you hate this movie because that detail, I didn't even remember it. And the fury it's bringing you. It's really
It's the
beautiful.
little things that are going to bring me a lot of anger in this because it feels like it's not thought out.
I think
When-
you need to do like a spin-off of just every single Jurassic thing that exists. I'd
I
listen.
could, but I fear I would drive away some of our listeners. So Owen's trying to tame the raptors, and raptors are Charlie, Delta, Blue, and wait, is that it? Is it only the three of them? No, there was a fourth one, wasn't there?
Echo?
Echo, thank you. So Echo kills a pig, throws Leon into the paddock. Charlie, Delta, and Blue try to kill him. Owen stops them. And
The only real takeaway that I had from this part is you learn that the military industrial complex is tied in here.
Yeah, we kind of learn like, oh, we want to use dinosaurs as weapons. That's
so funny. So fucking funny. And you learn like you just get the intro of like, yes, he's good with dinosaurs, but he also like runs towards danger. That's pretty much the entire intro of this character is he hates the military. Or he doesn't hate the military, but he hates using dinosaurs in the military. Big character trait for him. Literally his number one character trait, I think. And he runs towards danger.
He run toward danger.
He run toward the danger.
Vic Hoskins is our big bad other than the dinosaur here because he's the guy that's like, I want to use all these dinosaurs in my next war. Hashtag Veloso War. I don't know.
Get that going.
I will say his portrayal, I mean, he actually makes an intentionally hateable character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate his performance in this.
Yeah.
And in this movie, I think that says something, at least for me. It's kind of like, it feels a little bit kids movie-ish because of course he's doing like over the top, you know, I'm from the military, this is what the military wants.
Yeah,
but
it feels
I think
like
he sells
Avatar.
it. It does. It feels like Avatar.
I was just going to say that exact sentence. It's so like him and the villain in that, the same.
Yeah.
That's a great comparison. I never thought about that.
Except one's just more in shape.
And one doesn't have clearly bleached blonde hair. The hair in this movie, someone was on something. I don't know.
Richard, you're not wrong.
It's
Thank you.
Even the youngest brother, what was going on? Give him trim it up a bit, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not hating on a 10-year-old. How I don't know how old he was, honestly, but trim him up a bit.
Yeah, it was a
Mm.
mop.
I can't say this enough. I despise the kids in this movie. I think they are the worst children.
Love Simon boy? Yeah,
I
his character stinks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was good in Love, Simon, but in
What happened to
this,
him?
The actor?
Yeah, I mean those are pretty big two hits
He
for him that he's kind of disappeared since.
That's true. He was in that show where he's having sex with his teacher Kate Mara, but I didn't watch it.
Mm.
I think it
Yeah, I
was
don't.
called A Good Teacher.
Okay.
Oh,
Did not know that.
I think it was a
I-
Hulu original.
Well,
you
the
know-
younger
you
kid's
know a
been in
lot
stuff
about
too.
this show.
Yeah, hold on
I
a second.
didn't watch it, I swear. I didn't watch every episode in one night, I swear.
And if you go to timestamp,
Yeah. You're sitting with your phone like Sarah Paulson in that one meme, like laughing at night alone in your bed. Matt's dead asleep and it's just you giggling at your phone.
But no, I've never heard of that show before. I don't know what else he's been doing since then. I've never seen him in anything else.
Okay.
that's strange.
But right now, I really don't know what else he's been in since then.
Okay. I think he's annoying as hell in this. So
Maybe that's
sorry
Didn't
to
work
this
out.
man. I think they're called the Acid Containment Unit is sent out after the Indominus because whoopsie, Indominus is out, and we learn that it can both camouflage itself and disguise its heat signature. And it kills 2 security guards before, and Owen is with them, hides under a car, barely misses it, it gets out. Um I really don't have anything nice to say, and all my thoughts are jumbling together, but the main one is, why would you give this animal the ability to get out of a cage? Point blank. Like,
I think I just realized what the biggest problem with this movie is.
go
The
ahead, tell me.
first movies, and I assume the book, there are like limits to what's going on. Jurassic World, they have no laws of the universe or any rules of what they could create with this, I almost said dragon, this particular dinosaur, and anything in the park. They didn't have any rules for technology. They didn't have any rules in like the genetic manipulation.
Mhm.
And I think it becomes like, not that my suspension of disbelief is broken, but it's almost like, well, yeah, if you're making this creature able to camouflage, like, of course it's going to break out of the cage. Of course, chaos is going to ensue. And then, like, I don't know. I feel like it's not, I guess that's the point they talk about in the movie. It's not like it's missing the organic nature of the original ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like they kind of try to like reverse course and answer the question of like why can it do these things, and it's like supposed to not be intentional because it's like, why would an animal on display be able to camouflage? Because that doesn't help anyone at all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they kind of try to go back and say it's just like side effects of other things they were trying to do with other genetics, and it's like, I'm no science man, but that's bad science. It sounds like that
Yeah.
just sounds like a
Yeah.
stupid thing that would like a side effect would be camouflage. Like
Mhm.
it just doesn't seem like like it doesn't seem like a real outcome that could happen, because they're like, it seems like, well, we have to go back and figure out why it can do these things, and it's like,
Mhm.
what about a cuttlefish?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead, Emma.
I was just say, yeah, like the writers had no rules and they did whatever they wanted, but then they couldn't explain themselves well enough
Yeah.
in the movie
Yeah.
of why it happened.
It, like you were saying, Emma, it felt so natural in the first one because they were using things that already existed, like things that were finite, things that were extinct, that they filled in with current things that aren't extinct, like frogs and lizards. And they give you that explanation of, we filled this in because it's the most connected to its own DNA. and the dinosaurs have a certain amount of lysine in their bodies so that they can't reproduce, but they also didn't take into account that frogs can change their gender. And so the dinosaurs ended up mating because they could change their gender. Like they very thoroughly explain that to you in the book, of course, but also
Mhm.
in the movie you're aware of that. And in this, they kind of just throw out different animals, different like things to tell you that okay, yeah, it's a genetic mutation and it does these things, but we didn't think it was going to do that. We didn't really think that putting all these unknown variables together was to make something completely new and unheard of was going to do anything. We didn't know that would have any repercussions.
I I did just think though, like at the end they kind of show that the scientist and the guy from the military are working together.
Hmm.
Were these like, I don't know if this is giving them too much credit, or but are those not unintended consequences? Are these things that it's like supposed to be able to do because as a weapon it makes it a lot more frightening?
Yeah, like they
I
were doing it like more
Secretly trying to
secretly.
make
Yeah.
like the best weapon in the world, and like these things would make it like pretty incredible as a weapon.
Yes, I think that sets up the second movie well because that's what we learn in the second movie is that they're really just going for all out war machines in these dinosaurs. But
Mhm.
it brings up a point that um, filmmakers who wanted to make a Jurassic Park 4 really wanted to dive into the military connection of warfare and weapons. Like that's not a new concept. That was something that had been pitched before. Spielberg
Yeah.
was attached to it, all that stuff.
Mhm.
And they ended up using like human DNA and hybrid like so they ended up looking more like aliens than anything else, and, like,
Yeah.
the drawings for those are really actually, jarring and scary, like,
Right.
the concept art, they're horrific. Um, but it's n it's not a new concept, so I guess they're trying to honor it here,
Mhm.
but it's just done so sloppily that I can't get behind it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's definitely like patched. Like it feels like they're just patching holes more than they are, I don't know,
Yeah.
stitching
Mhm.
a quilt.
Now they are doing what I was saying with, like, the human hybrids, that is what they're doing in the Rebirth movie. Like, if
Mhm.
you watch
Ah,
that trailer, so they're making the human hybrids
that's
and they're making
scary.
them, like, really disgusting looking.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Okay, I'm kind of all right. All right. I like this movie again. I get it now.
Yeah, I
It's
have
all
like
leading to this fourth one.
I guess what I'm what's really holding back my analysis of this movie is that I've only seen Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. I haven't seen any of the sequels of either of them.
but that's honestly I think that's what someone who does not love the series is supposed to do. You
Yeah.
know, if you're not a fan of the franchise, if you're not like someone who loves watching a series through to the end and you just want to get the main bits, that's what you should do is you should watch Jurassic Park and you should watch Jurassic World and leave it at that.
Mhm. They definitely
So
make it possible that those two are fine to watch and you don't need anything else.
the way I used to describe this to people was this was the sequel I would have wanted in 1998 when or 1997 when Lost World came out.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like if something like this came out sooner and maybe with more practical effects,
Yeah.
it could have been seen as better than it is.
Yeah, stylized better and everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But let me continue to bash it.
Yeah,
Let
sorry. I'm going down rabbit holes.
No, you're fine. You'll get me on tangents forever with this. So
I think I'm gonna like this movie by the end of the podcast. I think I'm gonna go back.
Emma just hearing somebody not like a movie is just boiling her blood. She's like, I can't partake in this.
Everyone should like every movie that's ever been made. And here's why.
I just start folding in on myself halfway through the I can't do it. I start tweaking. Um okay, plot-wise, we're with the acid containment unit who were sent out to get the Indominus after it escapes the paddock, and they are almost immediately all massacred. They realize the Indominus has ripped out its own tracker, showing us, hey, this thing's smart as fuck. This thing doesn't give a shit about your technology. And I think that's a cool detail. I'll say that. I think showing just how smart it is a smart choice. But I
Kristen,
think
you like this movie, just admit it.
no, I'm getting to
love
the
it.
butt. I'm getting to the butt. I think that diminishes its spoiler alert defeat by the end of the movie.
Oh,
I
yes.
I think we
Yes.
spend so much time in the beginning. They rage bait us with not showing it until how far into the movie, and then once they show it, we show how smart it is. We show it's killing everyone. It's causing all this chaos. It almost doesn't make sense for it to be so easily taken out in the end. So
I think yes, it's the same thing that this movie feels like it has the whole time, in that it like is patching problems that it created earlier on, rather than feeling like it's just like a cohesive unit as a script. But I think that my biggest beef is it's the same thing that happened at the beginning of the movie. They show you everything you need to know about this dinosaur, which is that it's smart enough to cut this out, that it's hunting them strategically and not just attacking right away. And instead of you just being like, wow, there you have Chris Pratt's character explain to you how smart it is, while he has no knowledge of this animal whatsoever.
What would the connection be? That
he tells you everything perfectly. In the room full of people who know everything about this dinosaur, he explains it. It's like, why is he the one presenting this information to us right now?
Right. It's not his job. It's not his responsibility to know any of that. But he's the dinosaur expert, so he should know everything.
He's just the expert. He's just the guy.
Yeah.
It's trying so hard. Like, when you can tell the way it was written when it came out, like they wanted to beat box office records. They wanted anybody to come and see this movie, and they treat the audience like we are so dumb. Like even the teenage boy stuff, how every time he's on screen, he's doing the brooding teenage boy. They're like, the movie feels written for people that are sitting on their phone while they're also watching the movie.
Which is quite a shame. to do it with such to do it on such epic proportions, and also spend as much money as you do on it. But clearly they got their money back. We kind of, I don't know if it's at the same time that the boys are taking the gyrosphere out, and they're going around, because now the entire park's on lockdown, and the boys are just gallivanting out in the field in a hamster ball, essentially. It's I think this was also really the point of showing us how technology has evolved for this film, and how, oh my gosh, look how close people can get to dinosaurs now in this park. But to me, all the technology feels so overdone and so ridiculous, because it was supposed to be set in modern time. Like, we don't have anything like that. I've never been to any zoo or aquarium that puts me in a hamster ball to go around and see the animals.
Exactly. It's also like, I don't know how to, it looks too clean. The whole thing looks too clean. It should be like a little earthy. It's completely Paradise Island Earth, and it still looks too clinical. Like it looks
sterile.
That's the word I'm looking for. Yes.
And also for this glass dome to be like traveling around on dirt and grass, and like nothing happens to it. Crystal clear. There's no blemishes or anything until there are. But it feels like, how dumb do you think I am? Like, what do you mean? That's just the technology now. We just have that now. No, we don't.
Windex out of
We
business.
still don't.
We still don't. That was, again, to me, part of the allure of Jurassic Park was that it could technically happen, and it looked like it was technically happening because of also the mix of practical effects and everything, but the architecture, the technology, all of it was in a world we know exists, in a world we live in, which makes it scarier. This happens in its own universe. Like you're saying, it's completely other world because who on earth is one putting a monorail in Costa Rica, and two, putting a glass ball in a Costa Rican climate and expecting it not to fog up immediately all the time.
Yeah. They do a weird thing where they like hint at these over the top ad deals that they could have, and it's one of the things Jake Johnson's character has, and they like go through all this stuff, but they don't really commit to that bit fully. They like randomly have like a little Jimmy Buffett feature or cameo and throw in this like Margaritaville thing, and they do it like here and there, but it feels like this is part of that as well, where it's like this is supposed to be like this, like they over the top made everything too clean, but they like didn't commit to it fully.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just a weird little aspect that's like if everything was like so pristine and like they really created a vibe out of it, then it's one way you could go with it, but it felt like they still tried to keep like a little bit of the Jurassic Park feel and give you a little bit of this vibe that they tried to like sterilize it and wash it out too much. So it's like it's a weird in between that they like kind of shoot in there.
Yeah, it just feels like there's so many loose ends that they just never felt like tying up.
Again, like afraid to take any big creative swing that could isolate an audience like the whole time. Like even if you were go all the way, if it's going to be this corporate advertisement park that's completely turned the corner into a complete sellout, they wouldn't take a swing like that.
Yeah, and they also were too scared, it felt like, to commit to like the full original feel, because that's like they knew they couldn't, you can't like recreate that feeling, so they just kind of ended up in the middle.
Yeah.
Then the youths of the world wouldn't want to come see it if it was more like the original. It has to be technology updated.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Boo.
Iron Man. Those kids like Iron Man. Make it like that.
Yeah,
the holograms felt very Iron Man.
They did. They really saw all of the MCU up to that point and said, "This will work."
This is what they want, right?
Run that shit back.
So while the boys are on the gyrosphere thing, the older of the two is kind of like, "Hey, this is a restricted area and the gate's wide open. Let's go in." Talk about dumb. So they do it, and I think they find the ankylosaurs or ankylosaurs. I don't know how to say it. I'm the dinosaur kid. I'm not going to pretend to know how to say things. But the Indominus Rex comes in. They fight each other. Then the Indominus finds them and is like, "Ooh, piece of candy." And goes after them, breaks the gyrosphere. They run away. They get away, of course, because main character syndrome.
Yeah. A lot of that in this movie.
Yeah, I just think this whole sequence looks so fake. There's nothing keeping me like rooted to any fear of any of this happening because none of it looks real to me. Yeah. So I'm not, and at this point I'm not attached to the characters. I know the Indominus Rex is either going to be captured or killed by the end of the film. My biggest worry is the other dinosaurs in its wake. Like that's what I'm caring about, and I feel like I should be caring about the main characters. But
no, kill them all. Kill that kid.
I mean, you really don't root for them in this because they're so unlikable. And also, I I remember even when I watched this for the first time coming out of the theater and being like, what what a visual letdown in terms of practicality for me.
Yeah.
And I know I've talked about this before, but I somewhere in college I wrote an entire like thesis essay on how CGI had like destroyed authenticity in film and also was just getting worse over time.
Mhm.
And I think this movie is really what sold that for me. Like, there was no way any of this was going to really tell me, yeah, this could happen at any point. This this might happen to you. I remember reading that I think at the time the only like animatronics used in this film were the raptors when their heads are like in that weird contraption,
Mhm.
and I think the Apatosaurus that's killed and like its head is on the ground,
The dying one, yeah.
the dying one. Yeah, so the stationary animals.
Hmm.
Um and I just remember being so upset by that because I was like, you have the opportunity and you have the budget to do so much, and you created an entire new dinosaur. So you could do whatever you wanted with that, but they just like they went the way of the industry and it like crushes my soul a little bit. So
And then in the third one, they went back and said practical, and then it was like mostly locusts,
they said
famously small.
they said, "Hey, you want practical effects? Here's a giant bug.
Here's a bug. Take it.
Take it or leave it, I guess."
Take it, you fucking piece of shit. You sit in that audience and you take that practical lotus.
You drink your $17 margarita and you're gonna like it.
And you spill your popcorn when we move these chairs around in a circle.
We're gonna spray water at you for the next 2.5 hours. I hope you like it.
And anytime we show a flower, we're gonna spray a scent in there that smells like the most generic scent you've ever.
Yep.
But anyway, love for D.
I have a plot. I have a plot gripe here.
Okay, go.
The younger brother here is counting the dinosaurs, and that's when they first realize that the Indominus is there because he can see the camo that the teenage brother doesn't notice. He's just like, there's 5 dinosaurs here, and the brother's like, no, there's 4. This younger brother knows a lot about dinosaurs. He would know that an invisible camouflage dinosaur isn't a real dinosaur, and that would be a concern. He's so casual about, no, that invisible camouflage dinosaur is just another dinosaur that's in the room with us.
Yeah.
He's literally just like, no, that's dinosaur. It's like, that kid is counting teeth. He's aware that that's not a real dinosaur. Like, what? Why isn't he having any kind of reaction to this? Like, the camo is hilarious. It's invisible. It's just translucent. It's not even camouflage.
Explain that to me. Like, we can't even see the outline of its body, which you would be able to see in another animal.
With nothing, it's not on a leaf. It's the it's the open air.
Hey, it's actually just the entire scene in front of you. How are you not going to see? You know? It feels like there's no stakes with the kid, the way he's acting that scene.
Because he knows he's plot armor.
God. I guess.
Fuck.
Yeah, really.
Kristen, I'm out on this movie. I've been nothing but negative the whole time.
You're out now. Emma's in. You guys have flipped.
I think I'm out again. I've only been negative as well.
I've been capable of not hating once we start going.
Nick, I love that about you. After this, Dr. Wu and Ms. Rani have a discussion about the Indominus, and Ms. Rani is upset that Wu put in the camouflaging DNA and just all of the other DNA that seemed a bit unnecessary. And this geneticist, I guess he is. I don't know. He's, I guess, doctor. I forget what his position is, but he's from the original trilogy. This is the same actor who was in the original trilogy. This
BD
is a
Wong.
book. BD Wong, yes. This is a book accurate character. And I think this was really a nostalgia bait for the fans. I honestly don't know if he really needed to be in this movie other than to just be like, I'm working with the government, see? I think you could have gone this entire movie and had a more effective plot point if he did not come until the end and revealed that he was working with the military. I think that would have had more payoff and then like use him in the second movie. But that's again another personal gripe.
There's a small chance people wouldn't have understood, so we couldn't have that.
Clearly we couldn't
Be
have that.
spoon-fed.
Oh, to talk about spoon feeding dinosaur content, the tyrannosaurs or the pterosaurs attack next. They all get out and start terrorizing everybody in the park. This is where the infamous Jimmy Buffett cameo comes from. And this was one I feel like people didn't know right away, but now feels very obvious when you watch it. It's like when I was in the theater for the first time, I was watching and I was like, why are we spending like a 3-second shot watching this man carry 2 margaritas away? And now you're kind of like, no, I get it. I understand it, but feels completely like I don't know, it almost feels tone deaf to put in the middle of this scene. And
it's the best part of the movie for me.
I get what you're saying about the ads, but okay, sure, it's the best part of the movie for you. It's not for me, Emma.
Okay, but fuck you, Emma.
Hey, how about I raise
it's the only
this?
part of this movie worth watching.
No. We're gonna get to the part of the movie worth watching if it kills me. It's
nope. It's just a 3-second sequence.
Let me speak. Okay, so I'm so sorry.
we have to fist fight after this.
Hey, I'm gonna drive an hour so that we can fist fight each other. Nick, if you could fly up and record that for us, that would be great.
We'd be so bad at fist fighting each other, Kristen.
We would. Could you imagine?
We both like cry. I think we get so upset that we were doing
guys would, like slip into a mid-Atlantic, like a transatlantic accent bit with like your pants hiked up, and you'd be like, "Yeah, put them up, see."
I have like suspended pants, but they're up to here on me.
It would turn into a bit, like we couldn't help it. Like we'd try to actually fight, and then we wouldn't be able to stop.
Suddenly, we've both grown like handlebar mustaches, and we're like, "Oh yeah." Do you want to go? Let's go. So, I have to say, disagree. I don't think this is the best part of the movie.
What I was like barely watching, and she was like, "Is that Jimmy Buffett?"
See, like, I feel like it's lost on a younger audience because how would they know?
I think it's the only thing that people remember from this movie.
At this
that
point,
and the fuck ass Bob, the margaritas and the Bob.
Margaritas, fuck ass Bobs. What else is there? I don't know.
Song of the summer.
God. Anyway, the assistant's killed in a really dramatic fashion. She gets carried off by one of the pterosaurs that then takes her over the lagoon, drops her in the lagoon, takes her back up again before both her and the pterosaur get eaten by the Mosasaurus.
Yeah. Which she is the death of like a TV show villain you've been waiting to die for 5 seasons.
It's
and for
so unjustified.
She was just doing her job. She did nothing wrong. She is the worst death in the movie.
She gets Final Destination. Like,
yeah,
for no reason.
It feels so cruel because she was a nice character.
She was.
She was really just there to be like, hey, your aunt's kind of an absent asshole, and I'm sorry about that, but I'm here for you. And then they're
I'm a
like,
little busy, just a little bit busy. It was her only flaw.
Yeah.
Just didn't love her job.
I just it made me sad because I was like, she does not deserve this in any way.
No.
Um, we had already seen the Mosasaurus once, which is in like this big amphitheater scene, and they feed it a shark, which I think is that's so unnecessary. What do you mean
So
you're feeding
that's
it
the
a
best
shark?
part of the movie.
But that was so saturated in the advertisements for it. You felt like you already
Right.
saw it.
Yeah.
It was like the thing in the trailer.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think they knew that, which is why this is so this is they're doing the in threes thing here where we see the Mosasaurus jump out of the water once and eat something, then we see it jump out of the water twice and eat something. So by logic, it's going to jump out of the water and eat something a third time. And again, this movie thinks you are dumb as a rock.
Dumb.
So dumb. Like
And you know what? We are. We're dumb.
Chekhov's Mosasaurus.
yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm just gonna call it comedy happens in threes because it's kind of funny. You're kind of like, whoa, guess she's gone.
Yeah.
But the Mosasaurus is again, this is another personal gripe because of dinosaurs, but it is such a horrifying predator, and I don't think it gets enough credit in this. Especially if you're absolutely insane like me and you played and or watched the Jurassic Park computer game from like years ago. It was like a story-based game, and one of the big bads was the Mosasaurus, and it is so scary that I still think about that scene because I'm like, that was more impactful than this for me.
Yeah.
I
Kind
don't
of
think
tropey in this.
very
Kinda-
tropey.
Yeah.
They don't give you anything for it. Like at least with some of the other dinosaurs, they get a little characterization. The Mosasaurus gets absolutely nothing and arguably gets the most credit by the end.
Yeah.
Well, not the most, second most. So I don't know. That's my gripe with the Mosasaurus.
Mhm.
Guys, I sound cuckoo crazy. Cuckoo crazy.
Beat that Mosasaurus's ass, Kristen.
Yo,
The
get
world
his
needs more passion, okay? And I'm glad you have it for this.
It does. The Mosasaurus also has a better role in the Camp Cretaceous series, if anybody cares about that. But we're talking Jurassic World. I'm getting ahead of myself. Dr. Wu goes to his secret lab and he gets a call from Hoskins. Hoskins tells Wu to get the embryos off the island and it's going to go bankrupt by the morning, which again, I think is a little extreme. Because yes, it is a horrifying dinosaur that is killing people and other dinosaurs, but bankrupt by morning? I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't really know if it's to the scale that the original Jurassic Park was, like evacuate the island, everybody off. Like
Mhm.
I don't think it has as much impact. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like, hey, get out of there.
Mhm.
Okay. Um the let's see, sorry. So Owen, Claire, and the kids go to the lab. They see Hoskins' men are evacuating with the embryos. There's like a couple different weird hybrids that we can see on the computer screen, and just there's also like a weird tank in there somewhere. And Delta just she's there. She comes in, she kills the fuck out of Hoskins. And I don't know if does Owen have all of them at this point, or is it just I'm getting lost in my sauce here. I'm sorry.
The raptor just like clearing out Hoskins.
Yeah.
That you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, I think
I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't think he does. I think there's 3.
Okay. I know they're all still alive, I think, at this point, or at least 3 of them are.
Yeah.
And we also I think I skimmed over the Owen like teaming up with his raptors against his own intuition and feeling to go against the Indominus,
Mhm.
which ends up going terribly wrong because we find out the Indominus can communicate with raptors. And that's where my quote came from, like, "Oh my god, they're talking to each other.
Yep.
They can speak to one another." I it makes me so unbelievably angry. Cause what do you mean? You also, like, you're contradicting your previous movies of, like, a velociraptor having such a specific, like, voice box. That's one of the big plot points in Jurassic Park 3
Mhm.
of them emulating a raptor call, and for them to just be like, "Yeah, this genetic mutant, it can emulate a raptor's call."
Mhm.
I And then they turn on the humans, like, that just feels lazy to me.
Yeah. I wrote down a quote from this part too, and it's when they're getting ready to go out, and Chris Pratt just goes, "Don't shoot my raptors." It's like, okay, dude, this dinosaur's about to kill everyone on the island. I'm gonna shoot your raptors if you have to train new ones for it. Like, I don't know what a weird time to call that out. Like, if it means everyone's gonna die, you can't shoot my raptors. Like, that's a
Like,
Yeah.
ridiculous thing to say
yeah.
in that moment. Don't shoot my raptors.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Yeah,
Like,
we're fired. It's on site right now. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
yeah.
But I do have to say, like, as this is exactly when I say, like, I have a lot of beef with this movie as we go through it, like in the micro, but on the macro, the big scale of this movie, I don't care that it's like kind of a stupid plot here. I love the like seeing the hunting raptors. Like, that's a fun
Mhm.
part of this movie. It's just like
Yeah.
seeing them in action. Like, the way they run is so silly, but it's
I
like
I
exactly what you
love the
come
way they
for.
run.
It's like it's exactly what you come to this movie for. You're like, they're kind of dogs and they're just so lovable, and you're
Mhm.
just like rooting for them, and you know that even when they turn there, you don't feel like the bad feeling of like, now these raptors are bad. You're like, they'll be back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's fair. I think seeing them like run along Owen's motorcycle, I do think that is a really cool shot with them with their little headsets on. Like, it's kind of cute. Um, but again, like you're saying, you're kind of it kind of feels like there's not a lot of stake in it when they turn because you're thinking like, well, when are they gonna come back?
Yeah, they're dogs. Your dog
Right,
is not going to turn
right.
on you.
Oh, I want one.
I know. I kept everything. The dinosaur, whatever the long neck that was dying, I was like, that's Cooper. And then they were in the like, they were in the muzzles, and I was like, oh, now that's Cooper.
I know, when you say they're dogs, that's so cute.
That because I mean that's how they set them up here. That's
Yeah.
they almost humanize those one like the raptors. I think the raptors and the T-Rex they know are everybody's favorite, so they're like, well, boy, do I got some shit for you. Let me show you something.
Wait,
You went up
what are
my
your
sleeve.
favorite dinosaurs?
My favorite?
Yeah. This should have been an up top question, but I'm asking it now. It's important.
Right in the heat of the of the plot.
Yeah, we're literally almost at the climax of the film.
Let me derail. Let me derail.
I really have a soft spot for the Compsognathus, which is the little chicken looking ones.
Oh,
Like they're the little like lizard looking ones.
Yes, they are cute.
What are you laughing at?
Their name, I just didn't know their name, and the name, I like, it just made me giggle.
They call them compies to make it sound less nerdy. That doesn't help, but
Wait, I want to look up a picture. What's their name?
COMPSOGNA.
Sorry, you can-
Oh,
I see it.
okay.
You can cut this out if you want to. Oh, they're the ones that eat the little girl.
Yes.
Oh, they're so cute. In like the second or third one. They're
Yep.
so cute. She's feeding them little sandwiches and then
they eat her ass.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're so cute. Okay, yes.
Thank you. What are your favorite dinosaurs?
Nick?
I was just thinking about it, and I wasn't a dinosaur kid. My strongest link to dinosaurs was Land Before Time. And I think I'll have to go Triceratops.
It's a good
Just
one.
like in the basic realm of answers, I feel like there's like 5 dinosaurs you can say that all fit into like what type. It's like a personality test almost.
Yeah.
It's a what's it called? What was the site that always did them? I'm blanking. Does like the which friends character?
Myers-Briggs. Oh, BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the.
Myers-Briggs.
No, it's definitely a BuzzFeed article where there's like 5 dinosaurs, and it's like, which dinosaur are you? Which dinosaur are you?
Yeah,
Triceratops
mine's in that for sure too. Pterodactyl.
Petrie.
Petrie.
Petrie, he was my favorite. I will also say, for me, there's a runner-up that's also for me just because it's so scary looking is a Quetzalcoatlus. Just I'm
just
really
gonna guess how to spell that.
It is the largest like of the pteranodon family, and it is so terrifying. And I don't know why I'm just drawn to them. They're cool looking.
I couldn't have spelled it more different than the real spelling is. When I typed it in. I started it with a K. It starts with a Q.
I love that for you.
Okay, might be the hardest thing to spell. To be fair,
it is hard to spell. Yeah. Good dinosaur.
I'm sorry for
everyone.
derailing. Thank you for telling me your favorite dinosaurs.
Well, I mean, I feel like that had to be at least somewhere in this conversation.
It did.
Let's see. Oh, so now we're getting to the main battle scene. Am I lagging for you guys?
Mm-mm.
My computer's lagging.
Oh, well, now you just started.
Yeah, a little bit, but nothing crazy.
Okay. Stop me if I do get really laggy.
You look good now.
Thank you. So we go into the main battle, which is Claire taking the T-Rex from the T-Rex paddock and walking it essentially over to where the Indominus is or will be, using a flare. This is where my gripe comes from with this movie, is how the hell is this woman running in stiletto heels throughout this entire film? What? It drives me so crazy.
It's brutal.
It is terrible.
And
it hasn't even rounded the corner to being like camp and fun and like
no
feminist. Like it doesn't get there. Like it doesn't go all the way around for me. It's just bad.
This I think Claire's character and like the little details like this of, you know, her still looking so feminine and so, you know, I don't know, ethereal throughout this film when she's going through literally the most horrifying thing she could, I think really shows that a man was in charge of making this movie. And I don't know how to feel about that.
And it also, I just don't think Bryce Dallas-Howard has charisma, unfortunately. And another actress in this role, in this exact outfit, I would be like, slay. It's a slay. She wore heels the whole time. She's incredible. Look at her running in these goddamn heels. I'm obsessed with her. I love her. If Lady Gaga was in this role, you guys just picture it in the heels. I don't think Lady Gaga would have ever been cast in this role, but
If she was,
if she was, just know it would be better. And honestly, that fuck ass pop on Lady Gaga would also be better than
yeah,
it is. She does not have the charisma to carry a movie like this. She does not have the charisma to make me like this character that is like the ultimate white feminist girl boss that we've
yeah,
come to not like. She doesn't pull it off. She makes it like as millennial cringe as it could be. And I really think a better actress would have changed this movie. And I'm not saying Chris Pratt did a great job in this, but he at least at the time had a little like obviously upswing on his career as we talked about, and he did have some charisma that I think pulled audiences in.
mhm.
Now I think he has lost it just because his public persona has changed so much. But they're my thoughts. I just don't think Bryce Dallas Howard's a good actress.
I I wish I could give you a standing ovation right now. I completely agree. I cannot stand her in this film, and I think her acting and her choices make the character so much worse than
Yes.
she should be, and I think they really needed someone with more star power and more allure to the public, and I don't think she has that. I think she was a no offense, I think she was the nepo hire for this film because, like you're saying, anyone else, if you had the star power of Scarlett Johansson then, which, like, she's in the new one, so she's in
She
the
is.
Jurassic
I know nothing about this new one. I gotta go
So
watch the trailer.
she's in the new Jurassic World, but if you had her in this role, I feel like it would have been so much there could have been more nuance, there could have been so much more depth of character, and there's just not.
Zoe Kravitz, a nepo
Anyone.
baby I can get behind in this role.
Yeah.
Or
Jack
who's the
Quaid, put him in
girl?
heels.
The Sophie Thatcher from Yellow Jackets and Companion and Heretic from this year. I love her,
Okay.
and she's too young to play this part.
Mhm, mhm.
But when I was like trying to think of alternative actresses for this role, I don't even know if she would be a good fit, but I was just like, she has more energy in like her fingertip than Bryce Dallas Howard has in this whole movie.
Yeah. It's I mean, the writing doesn't do her any favors, but
No.
as an actor in something as big a project as that, I feel like you're kind of motivated to do a little more with it. Like, I feel like even though the script was kind of garbage for Chris Pratt too, I still feel like he did it, you know? At the time I was like, "Okay, like, pretty good
Yeah.
performance." I was like, "I
Yeah.
still prefer a character of his more than this," which was Star-Lord, but I mean, I feel like he did a pretty good job, and some of the other actors, I was like, "Okay, I can really get behind this," and same thing, Ms. Ronnie, like, I I thought that actor did a great job,
Yeah.
but it's just she feels so out of place.
I don't think she has like I feel like every leading star has a sense of like gravity to them on screen. Like you feel pulled into them when they're on the screen, and I don't even notice sometimes when she's on the screen in this movie. Like
Yeah.
she has no
Yes.
like pull to her at all. And I mean like it's tough. Like I don't dislike her. Like I don't she's not like a dislikable person. It's just like it just feels like it's not even her fault. It just feels like she shouldn't be there.
Mhm.
But you can't blame her for taking it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
but
Oh, for sure.
I'm
I
going
feel
to start a new segment right now.
okay.
Would this movie be better if it just had the cast of He's Just Not That Into You replacing everybody in this whole movie?
The dinosaurs included?
Yeah, they're all played by
Oh.
Justin Long.
Oh my god.
Justin Long has to be Jake Johnson's character then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ben
He's
Affleck.
just not that into you.
Bradley Cooper is clearly the Chris Pratt. Scarlett Johansson's Bryce Dallas, and then Ben Affleck is the military guy.
I
Yeah.
could see Jennifer Connelly being Bryce Dallas Howard too.
Honestly, I feel like they only really chose Bryce Dallas-Howard, and I'm blanking on the actress who plays her sister, but like, oh, they kind of look
Judy
alike.
Greer.
Judy Greer, thank you. And I think that was like the thing they had going for them, is that, yeah, but they look like sisters, don't they?
A little.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Like if I squint, maybe.
I also really wish they don't do it enough anymore. Like, I think this is something Hollywood's definitely lost, is cast someone unknown as the one of the main parts. You can still cast your famous person as the counter to the lead, but why can't we cast people who people don't know, and then they can sink into the role and become that character for the audience? I think that's where like the most powerful, like most remembered characters were people who audiences didn't really know before their breakout role, as they call them, and they get remembered for it. I don't know.
I had a little bit of a internal conflict thinking about this the other day, because I was thinking about, like you said, it feels like everyone's shoehorned into the role because of their popularity,
Mhm.
which, you hear people talk about, like, in the studio of it all. It's just like, how many followers does somebody have could determine if they're getting a role or not in
Yeah.
modern times. But I also think we're more, I mean, the three of us for sure are just more aware of actors as they come up now, so it doesn't feel like
Mhm.
anybody's coming out of nowhere because we know their indie movie that they made.
I guess that's
Mhm.
true.
Which I think contributes to the fact that it doesn't feel like they're coming out of nowhere, and it feels like, that A24 movie that as a kid you probably weren't even, not even A24 because that's even more mainstream, but like
Mhm.
there's so many movies that it feels like we're just more aware of now, that it's
Yeah.
gonna make it feel like no one's coming out of nowhere because the first project they did
We
was
saw.
just big. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is
That's
true.
fair. Mhm.
But I mean, obviously that's not like all the time. I mean, I think that that aspect of it now is more in terms of, instead of trying to like bottle somebody's rise, it's like their rebirth, their
Mhm.
like coming back out party, like
Mhm.
Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Brendan Fraser
Mhm.
recently, like all of that feels
Demi
now like
Moore
that.
this year.
Demi Moore, it feels like that
Mhm.
new side of that rise is through
Yeah.
That's
like
true.
coming back. Even, I mean, I mean, the height of Marvel, they had Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and then his counter was Chris Evans as Captain America, who at the time when he became Captain America was big, but he wasn't like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
we're gonna grab the biggest star and throw him into this role, which they kind of got to a point with Marvel, where it felt like their heyday was more like, somebody who was semi on the fringe and just like
Mhm.
pulling them to the forefront.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Sorry,
Hmm.
that tangent had nothing to do with this movie.
No, but that's a fair point.
No, it's relevant. No. And
Mhm.
I guess Bryce Dallas-Howard wasn't even that famous when she got in this role.
What do you think of her as?
Ron Howard's daughter.
The episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, and it's kind of similar to this performance, but better.
But
Mhm.
better.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think of The Help, I think.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was good in that.
Yeah, I think she's, I don't know. It's just, yeah, she just doesn't feel, she's a good actress. I just don't think she's a lead. Like I said, she just
Mhm.
doesn't pull me
Yeah.
in at all.
Mhm.
Wow,
Yeah.
we're having some deep thought. This movie, I mean, look, it's doing something. It's evoking some deep
It is.
thoughts.
It is.
I think I was just getting frustrated recently about like always like the biggest actors, the freaking Beatles cast. I like all those actors. Don't get me wrong. I think they're all good actors. But I'm like, I don't I don't know.
They're
Who all is it
they're
again? I forgot.
It's Barry Keegan,
Uh-huh.
Paul Mescal, Joseph
Oh.
Quinn,
And
and
Harris Dickinson.
and the baby girl boy. Which
Mhm.
again,
So
I think your point's right. We just know actor, like a lot of people watching this Beatles movie are not gonna know Harris Dickinson.
I guess that's what I mean, is like, Barry's culturally relevant, but he hasn't been in a big lead role necessarily. Outside of, what's the movie? The
The
Talented
Saltburn.
Mr. Ripley ripoff.
Saltburn.
Saltburn. And then, yeah, Paul has Gladiator.
Yep.
But other than that, like, there's not.
Joseph Quinn was Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, and then Gladiator also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Quiet Place movie.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess I just like I don't think of any of them as like they are relevant names, but they're not like, I don't know. It doesn't feel, they feel shoehorned in a little bit, but not to the point of like if Timothy Chalamet was randomly in this movie.
Yeah, it was Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Sydney Sweeney, and Glenn Powell were playing the.
Oh my god.
Or even to this day, Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Oh, could you fucking imagine?
No.
He's
I mean,
John.
He was Mario, so.
Was he? He was Chris Pratt as Mario.
Chris Pratt presents.
Yeah,
Mario.
yeah.
Italian.
Anyway.
Wow.
So the T-Rex comes out.
So, all right, let me condense this down. Even though arguably I think this is the only justifiable part of the entire movie, is the T-Rex coming out of the paddock, fighting the Indominus Rex, and it is a heated battle, and the T-Rex looks like it's losing, but is then saved by Blue, who comes like running around a corner and around to help. So they end up kind of moving the Indominus towards the lagoon side, and the Mosasaurus, again, things happen in threes here, and Mosasaurus comes out, chomps on the Indominus, takes it back into the lagoon. The T-Rex, I want you to know what the plot point thing I have written down says. Velociraptor and T-Rex respect each other and then leave. That's and we see the survivors briefly, but I think the battle itself, I think, was really important to happen in general, because one of the biggest sins in the Jurassic Park trilogy was that the Spinosaurus kills the Tyrannosaurus in Jurassic Park 3. And I personally destroyed me when I first watched it. I was like, why are we killing the hero of our series here? Like, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. And there it was proving a point that the Spinosaurus is clearly the scariest dinosaur. But when we don't have that here, it feels a little more validating. Mm-hmm. And also very excited that Blue is back, because we think all the velociraptors are dead at this point. And the little run that Blue does like down the central street is so damn cute. And yeah. And the film ends with the Tyrannosaur walking over the helicopter pad and looking over the park and roaring. And I think that's very fitting. I think if the last 15 minutes of this movie were the movie, I would be happy. Like this is the reasoning for me to be like, well, I don't completely discount it. It's just this portion of the movie. I'll go back to, it's not only this part of the movie, and I didn't talk about the other part of the movie that it is, because it's not that important. But again, I'm just happy to see my girl come out alive. I think it proves a point that same way the original movie ends with dinosaurs rule the earth, like that banner coming down over the T-Rex, I think it's parallel to that in modern time. Mm-hmm. And kind of just reiterating that humans are not prepared, nor should they ever be, to coexist with the prehistoric. So what are your thoughts on the ending?
Great battle. I think that's most of my thought. I mean, it's a great ending.
Yeah, I think if they did end there, it would be a great ending. I think the line, "So what do we do now?" is a big problem for this movie. It's just such a brutal bit of writing at the end of this movie to have her literally say, "So what do we do now?"
Again,
Like,
spoon feed. Spoon feed.
are
Mhm.
you kidding me? Yeah, I mean, I don't know
Nick,
if
you
you guys
can't
listen.
forget the audience is dumb.
Do you
You're
guys listen
dumb.
to Amy Poehler's podcast?
No.
I've seen clips. I haven't listened to the whole
Yeah.
thing.
She had Tina Fey on in her first episode, and Sadie pointed this out as soon as she said it. She was like, that is, like, she wasn't even talking about this movie when she said it, but she said, like, have you ever realized there's, like, this big journey where, like, these two people go through this whole thing together, and then the woman just, like, turns and looks at the man and says, so what do we do now?
Yeah,
And then
Yes.
it happened, and we were like, no.
it hurts. Like,
It does.
but again, you got to set up a sequel. You got to do this. You got to do whatever, man. It's a big blockbuster. Sometimes I guess you got to pay the bills. But
I loved the scene when the, like, T-Rex and the raptor basically just, like, looked at each other and, like,
that's what I said.
had a
They
moment of
respect each other.
yeah, real recognized real.
Yeah. Which again, it may be complete fan service, but it's so nice. It just is so validating.
It would have been so funny if the T-Rex came out and then they found out the Indominus speaks T-Rex too.
Yeah. Or just ate Claire.
Yeah.
Nothing's
Yeah,
stopping that
T-Rex.
creature from absolutely destroying her.
Yeah, she has the flair. She looks like the food.
Yeah. She's literally saying dinner time, come and eat. Like, but plot, so you can't do that because she's a main character. Yeah, overall, I think, like I said, I don't 100% hate this movie. I just mostly hate this movie. And that is more me being a bigger fan of the original and being such a purist for that. But I think seeing it when I was 18 felt a bit more momentous, especially during the literal, like, the nostalgic scene of the two boys finding the old visitor center and finding the old Jeep, and like fixing it up and like taking it out. And I remember vividly, like in the theater, hearing the original theme when they found that, and just like the swell in my heart that I was like, oh my God, that's the original.
Yeah.
But I don't think it gets it, I don't think it ramps up enough, or I don't think it truly does what you really want it to. I don't think it's enough for me to really say I think this is the Jurassic Park sequel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been waiting to be proved wrong, but I have not yet been proven wrong. So, in my mind.
No, I like hearing you have like the most obviously passion for the series, so I like hearing your. No, I do. Like I'm saying that genuinely. I'm not joking.
You fucking freak. Yo, you nerd.
No.
I will say. Oh, go ahead, Nick.
No, I think it's funny to go through it and like have a lot of the same gripes with this movie, but have very different end feelings because
information. Yeah.
For me, it's just like it's not. It wasn't supposed to be anything but like mildly entertaining, and I'm mildly entertained by it in my head. Like I think obviously it made $1 billion. It was supposed to be more than that, but in my head that's all it was. So like when I leave this movie with a bunch of like that was pretty silly, but I had enough fun watching it, I'm okay with that. And I think you have a similar feeling, but that's just like not scratching the itch on the same like the way you needed it to.
Yeah, I don't know. This like created more itch for me.
Well, maybe the fourth one's gonna scratch the itch for you.
I don't know. I just think there's so much media out there around this series that you had so much time to gather different theories, different thoughts from the fans themselves that I feel like it almost felt like a kind of a little bit, like a little baby bit of a middle finger to the fans, or like the people who are really into it, me, um, because it's so base level. It's so like I know what's going to happen. I know, like, am I gonna watch it? Yeah. Am I gonna sit in a theater and pay you money to watch it? Yeah. But I I don't think I think this was like the film that I was like, "Oh, so they don't really truly care about the fans." And I hate to say that, but this was kind of the thing that I was like, "Oh, I'm just a butt in a seat."
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. It feels like that for sure. What they
I
care about.
I also think I could just be harping on this film in particular, but I think the industry's been like that for a while with
Mhm.
big blockbusters. And I think this one just really hits home for me, especially since like Emma, you and I saw Dominion and we were just like, what the fuck did we just watch?
Yeah, totally.
Um I will say I remember talking to my friend because I didn't see the second Jurassic World in theaters. And my friend had seen it before me and she like warned me about it because she was like, "Kristen, you are going to hate this." And this was sometime in college and I remember being in my dorm and like illegally streaming it on some like website that gave my computer a virus.
Mhm.
And I remember being up at like 3 a.m. and that movie ending and me seething with rage. Just absolutely inconsolable. I I think they really just capitalized off of like, well, people are gonna watch it. So again,
Mhm.
I'm going too far off the beaten path here, or I'm beating a dead horse. So
No, I mean that's what
Neither.
that exact tangent is what this I guess we'll call it segment that we're doing is
Yeah,
all
this
about.
theme is for
Yeah.
yeah.
I do have a
rants.
question for you that I think I don't know if you have an answer to, but how the hell did Colin Trevorrow get this movie as a
I
director? I know people really like Safety Not Guaranteed. I haven't seen it, but just watching this movie and knowing that it got him this movie makes me want to see it so bad. But
mhm.
yeah, I don't know if you have an answer to that question. I don't know if Spielberg just
I
liked him or
I don't know if well, it's not I'll preface, it's not an answer, but it's my thought.
Mhm.
And my thought is that this idea and this film went through so many years of development, different writers, different teams. I feel like it had to have gone through several different directors before anyone was kind of like happy with it. And
Mhm.
Colin Trevorrow was just the guy who was like, "Yeah, I'll get it done."
Right place, right time a little bit. Yeah.
I think it was really just two pieces of a puzzle that fell into the right place, but
Yeah.
like nobody just put them there.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
I understand like there's so many hands in the pot. It's probably not as
Mhm.
super desirable, but it's also like it feels so random. And it's one of those things that a lot of the movies like this have a big director and you look back and it's kind of hindsight that they were a big director and it was kind
Mhm.
of like they were in this early on. Marvel tries to do it all the time.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, just looking back, it feels so random.
I yeah, and I feel like a lot of people maybe they felt like they couldn't make other directors they couldn't make big decisions with it
Yeah,
or big choices that like Spielberg and his team may not have wanted to make. Uh
hmm
and
definitely.
I I don't know. It feels like picking up where so many different ideas left off and trying to combine and condense all of them together is
Yeah.
so hard that
hmm
like who's going to want to say one I'll do it and two I'll do it exactly the way you want me to.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
when the original author of the series has been dead for several years, like you can't go to the source material. You can't ask like, hey, I know you had an idea for this. What can I do? It's weird, I guess.
Definitely. I mean, it's a weird spot. I was just curious, like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, safety not guaranteed. People really like. I'd love to see it. I'll try to catch it soon at some point, and this definitely reminded me that I need to see it. But it's just one of those things that it's like, how do you just make like one sci-fi comedy and end up with Jurassic World?
I couldn't tell you. So, I will also shout out before we end my favorite Jurassic lore channel. It's a guy named Clayton Fioriti. And if you want like actual abandoned ideas and like analog horror games, stuff like that, he's kind of like the defunct land of Jurassic Park media.
Yeah.
And I think that's also very important for like people who want more knowledge of the series but don't feel like watching it. So
Yeah.
Just in case anybody cares. That's where some of my fun facts and some of my rants come from. Oh, well, I do have to ask who's hottest, even though I'm sure I know who it is.
I don't think it's who I don't have who I would imagine you think it is.
Is it Zara?
Yeah, it's Zara.
Yeah. Come on, I knew you weren't gonna choose Bryce.
Nah, I mean, it's like I said, she spends half the movie actively not being attractive.
Yeah.
And
Emma?
then I don't know where you go other than that.
I'm going Jake Johnson.
Damn.
I love him. And true love lasts a lifetime. So
mine is very, very random, and it's no one who you would have thought of.
I was gonna guess Simon.
No, it's Barry. It is the random side character.
About Barry. I forgot about Barry in this movie. We went through this whole recap.
Sorry, it's got to be Barry for me, and I don't like. He's not even. I don't think he's that pivotal of a character that we really needed to mention him that often.
No.
But he's in there enough that like I got a soft spot for him. You know?
Is this our first movie that we don't have either of the main characters any of our hottest?
It may be.
There's no. I mean, you can't take. You're not going to take Chris Pratt. Like we said, Bryce Dallas-Howard is objectively an attractive person, but
not in a fuck ass Bob.
Yeah,
not in the fuck ass Bob.
Butchered. The other two leads are kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
hey, that's illegal.
They really like for a movie that like seems like it would be pretty sexy, doesn't give you much.
Yeah. And you know what? Good, make it about the fucking dinosaurs, okay?
Nick's quote about Jurassic World. For a movie that seems like it should be sexy.
It's not.
It's not. Okay? It's just not.
Who's hottest? Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett. Well, that actually is our recipe for this movie.
Yeah.
Margarita. Frozen, however you want it. Salt on that rim or tahini, my personal favorite. Whatever you want.
Yes. Oh my god. I was really hoping you were gonna pick that. I'm so glad you did. Thank you.
I thought it was just gonna be like a little packet of like dinosaur oatmeal.
Oh my god.
Not dinosaur
the old
nuggets?
Fruit Snacks?
Dinosaur oatmeal?
No, I grew up on the dinosaur oatmeal.
What the hell is dinosaur oatmeal?
It had little eggs in it that hatched.
Yeah, it's the packet. Oh yeah.
They were good.
No idea what you're talking about.
They were. They tasted like sweet chalk, but they were fire.
You boys ever had that sweet chalk dinosaur oatmeal?
Get back to that sweet.
It's my favorite way to start the day.
They were literally it was pure sugar. It was like the egg was sugar and it melted into the oatmeal, and then the dinosaur inside was also sugar.
But it was like a sweet tart compared to the egg part.
Yeah.
They were so good. And maybe they still are. Do they still sell them?
I don't really want to know because I feel like if I ate it now, it wouldn't be as good and it would really ruin things for me.
Yeah.
You got to keep it in your memory.
Okay, fine. Do we have any parting thoughts before we get to our quote and get out of here?
No.
No, I think we
I,
said-
I feel like we did a lot of yapping about it. So
Oh, I have one little piece of hating left to do.
oh my god, do it.
We touched on it a little bit, but why is the divorce in this movie? There's no need for it at all. It moves
yeah.
the plot none. These kids are allowed to just go to Jurassic World because their aunt works there. It is such a weird little bit of plot point.
So true.
You know,
Does it
they
come back?
really no, the parents are like together in the end, I guess. But they're just like there for their kids.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, you could have made the kids like Claire's kids that she's already divorced, that they spend all the time with their dad because she works there. You
Yeah.
could have done that, but no, she had to have a breakup and sexual tension with Owen Grady. So
I guess another gripe. They make out at the weirdest time
yeah.
in the middle of the movie.
Wasn't even worth mentioning in this entire podcast.
No, I don't
We
think
didn't even
they're-
talk about their romance. We didn't even talk about them.
Because there's nothing there.
Because neither.
Because they're not hot and they have no chemistry. It's
It's true.
and bad. Yes, thank you for that point. That's also true.
Emma, you have a quote for us?
No, Nick, you have a quote. I thought you had a quote.
No, I fired through all my quotes in this.
Oh no, I don't have
Oh,
a quote.
I guess I have one. I have one on topic actually.
Oh, do it.
Kid's very clearly looking at her. Is that Aunt Claire?
That's the final quote this movie deserves.
That's all it deserves. And on that note, goodbye.